What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Friday video and another edition of Fish Food Fridays. Today we're talking about a food source that most of us already have in our aquariums, and that is snails. So most of us at one point or another either have a good amount or an overpopulation of snails. For example, in my 40 breeder, I have an overpopulation of Malaysian trumpet snails since they tend to feed off of the botanicals I put into the tank. Now, my Amazon puffer tends to hunt some of them down and eat them, and that's when I noticed something interesting. A lot of the fish in the tank, like my tetras and rams, tend to graze off of the leftovers that the puffer leaves behind. And that got me thinking, what if I just directly fed some of the snails to the other fish in the tank? Well, unfortunately, unlike the Amazon puffer and any loaches we might keep in our tanks, most of our fish don't have a way to break through those shells to get to the snails. And that's where our intervention comes into play. So how do you feed snails to the other fish in your tank? Well, for our part, that's going to take us crushing the snails in order for the other fish to feed off of them. Now, for most snails, you can do this with your fingers. For Malaysian trumpet snails, I tend to use a pair of pliers, which ensures I get a quick and precise breaking of the shell. Now, so far, I've fed snails to my apistos, rams, corydoras, guppies, tetras. The swamp darters in the tank behind me here, and even some of my shrimp. I've even seen my corydoras have some of their largest spawns after feeding them. So what are some of the benefits to feeding snails from your tank to your fish? First off, since the snails are coming from your own tank, you lessen the risk of introducing any diseases. Secondly, snails tend to be pretty high in protein and low in fat, which apparently also makes Malaysian trumpet snails a good food source for people, although I don't recommend eating any of the snails out of your tank. If you do choose to feed snails to your fish, I would recommend starting off with small amounts at first to make sure that you aren't overfeeding and you don't have any leftover waste in the tank. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for this episode of Fish Food Fridays. Being that this is a video that's going to lend itself to a lot of conversation, let me know down in the comments. Would you feed snails to your fish? And tell me why or why not. I look forward to reading everyone's responses. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next Friday video.